Some of you are going to be buying a car soon, new or used, and all of you are going to get an apartment, probably even while you're in college, or you go straight to the working world soon, right after or soon after you graduate from high school. So those are the two topics today. First thing when you buy a car is you have to decide do you want to buy new straight from the dealer, used from a dealer, from a friend, online, or do you want to lease a car, which is essentially renting a car for a period of time. You have to think about different items. How much does the car cost if you're going to buy it? Interest, and interest you can pay on a used car as well. You have to think that in the first couple of years the price of the car goes down noticeably. So often people like to buy 1 or 2 year old car. Sometimes people have to move and they need to get rid of it quickly and they didn't anticipate the move, for example. Taxes to the state, there are extra fees, which are different from taxes but still go to the government, license plate. Insurance, obviously, and you're going to learn about that in another unit, but insurance to protect your car and insurance in case you cause an accident. Maintenance, changing the oil, getting gas, making sure you have window washer, a whole bunch of things like that, just getting regular checkups for your car, and then of course repairs, and the older the car, the more you're going to have to get repairs done. Okay, financing it. If you bought, say, a $30,000 car and you put $10,000 down, the principal on your loan would be $20,000. Then you'd pay interest on that. Interest is pretty low, usually well, lower than for buying a house. 1%, 2%, and then the term is how many months. Often people get a 36-month or 3-year loan, and you can see how to calculate it. The principal is P, interest is again 2%, 3% divided by 12, and that's over 1 minus 1 plus, and you can see 1 to the 12th to the nth, and you're going crazy, and you're saying, how can I do this? My goodness. So let's do this. First of all, I want you to go up to the search engine, and I am going to be completely moving my computer screen here a second so this we can get this in here. Okay, so you want to type in Bankrate loan calculator, and the best one is this one, Bankrate, and move it up a little bit. And so the next slide is going to tell you to do an example. So 15,000 at 7% for 3 years. So you want to plug these numbers in. $15,000 for 3 years or 36 months, and you have to plug them both in. And then we said 7%. And you're buying it obviously today, and you calculate it, and you see that you're paying $463.16 a month. If you wanted to calculate it differently, the second one is 9,000. Well, actually, let's see. Yeah, 4.6 for 4 years. Unusual for 4 years. But let's do that one. 9,000, 4.6. 9,000. 4.6%, and we said 4 years, which is 48 months. Calculate in that case to get that $9,000 car for 4 years, you're going to be paying $205.64, and literally each month you can have it automatically withdrawn from your bank, or you can just do it yourself. Whatever works for you best. But that is how we figure how you, or more likely the car company, does it, that you don't do it yourself. Okay, and then the last part, and this is a little easier, is finding an apartment. And the advantages of renting over buying a place, the biggest one is you don't have to worry about maintenance. The owner does. It's going to be a little cheaper On the other hand, you're buying it, you're getting a smaller place. You can leave at any time. Is the big one. Disadvantage, of course, is you don't gain equity, but by that we mean you're losing all the money, and your money is going straight to someone who is paying a mortgage, and so you're essentially washing it down the toilet. Whereas if you own it after 30 years, 15 years, whatever number of years you have for the loan, you own the house, and all you have to do, and all is not a small amount, is maintain it. So big one, you can't redecorate. You can ask if, and owners are supposed to paint every once in a while, which is reasonable. In apartments, usually it's even between renters, and you got to follow the rules set by your landlord. Okay, selecting an apartment, you want to, how much can you pay? Often when you get out of college or high school, you need to have several roommates. You need to live in a cheaper area. You got to decide, what do you want? Most apartments now come with cable and heating and water and air conditioning included. Of course, what they're doing is they're figuring out what do most people do for those things and charging you even though you may not be using as much. Last thing is, do you want a full furnished apartment or not? And then, of course, you have to find it. A little funny to say newspaper, but online, internet, friends, etc. And then you want to inspect it, and this will be true if you're buying a car as well. And you want to make sure everything is fine. Otherwise, you may be charged for the repairs. Storage is a big thing, especially if you're moving into your first apartment from your parents and you can't fit everything in. Does it have another alcove to put things? Okay, and then you want to look at the lease things. Can you park? Do they provide laundry in the apartment? What's the rent date? What's the penalty for being late? Usually you have a 5-day period during which you can be late, after which you have to pay a certain percentage above it. The length of the lease, often a year. After a year, it often goes to month. You have to pay usually a security deposit, which is equal to the first month's rent, and that's done to protect the owner. So when you move out, in case there's damage, you won't be charged. You do get interest, or roughly what interest would be in a reasonable bank account on that deposit when you leave. And then again, our utilities, water, for example, trash included. And can you sublet it, which means can you rent it to a friend? Let's say you're renting in college, can you sublet it over the summer? And are repairs and maintenance included, or is that extra? And the next one, can the landlord enter and check the premises? Usually most landlords want that right. Okay, and then the next one, of course, can you have parties? Usually there's not a rider in there on parties, but of course, since you paid for the security deposit, you don't want to have big parties. And then pets, very few places allow pets. And that's it.